shamanism. Welcome to With Insights Radio. I'm your host, Iggy Garcia. I will take you on a journey across the universe through shamanism, metaphysical, and holistic. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. All right, everybody. Welcome to With Insights Radio, Iggy Garcia Live, the Naked Shaman. That is me. I'm here live in my studio here on, well, I can't tell you where I'm at. It's a secret location. I would give it away. That wouldn't be any fun. But I just want to say hi to everybody. Welcome to the show. Welcome everybody who's here. I see Sue's on there, Angel's on there. People are popping in slowly but surely. We do have a call-in number for those of you who want to call in. That call-in number is 646-595-3440. You're more than welcome to call in and say hello and give your name or whatever's on your mind, whatever's happening, whatever's going on. I invite you to call in and share your thoughts. I'll call in a little bit later for a reading. We'll do reading. We'll do a little meditation. But I'll tell you one thing. Being here in this studio is not that cool. It's like really hot. It's like there's no heat going on. I mean, it's warm in here. But we'll do okay. We'll be all right. But, it's part of being summer. We complain about how hot it is. And then when it's winter, we complain about how cold it is. So we have to make up our mind. What's it going to be? Are we going to complain? Are we just going to do with it, enjoy it, be part of it, embrace it, love it? And here we go. I'm going to light a candle like we always do on our show. This is our remembrance candle for all those who have passed, transitioned just recently or a long time ago, to our family members, and for those who we miss and love, and for our ancestors. We give thanks to our ancestors to support us and be with us and help us and walk with us and help us in this journey that we call life. One day we'll join them. One day we'll be with them. One day we will walk side by side with our ancestors back in that place we call home. This is just a reflection of where our home really is. So hopefully we all can come a piece of that. So I want to take a few moments just to remember. We had some people who lost family members today. Some people who lost, loved ones today. So I want to give a tribute to them and recognize them and say to them, hey, I'm thinking about you. We're sending prayers and vibrations your way. That way, they're not forgotten. We don't want to forget anybody in this path and this thing we call life. And so I want to take a few minutes, now that we lit the candle, and give remembrance to all those who we've lost, all those who are not well, all those who are sick, all those who need some prayers and some energy and some love sent their way. I know I need it, and everybody needs it. We're going through a rough time, a rough patch at this moment. And, and I'm really sorry, or that you lost your brother. We'll keep him in our thoughts and prayers as well. It's always good to remember people, even when people are like not necessarily good with you. We have to understand that they're human too, and they go through their moments and their processes. And we don't know why people will act the way they do and why they behave the way they do. It just happens sometimes, and we can't really always put a finger on it. And sometimes we're just supposed to do it. We're just supposed to experience. And there's my dad. Hey, Papi, how you doing? He's watching from Peru. That's awesome. That's pretty cool. It's nice to know that the internet works that far. But I want to remember, the people that are in our lives, the people who love us, the people who are. I see my sister Rose is on there too. That's cool. That's awesome. I look up from time to time and I see Adriana's there. Hi, Adriana. Welcome. So I want to say hi to everybody. I want to say hi to everybody. So if I forget you, I'm sorry. I apologize. And just kind of trying to get into the frame of mind of doing the show. So, I just want to talk a little bit about what it means to experience time and experience illusions and experience all the things that we consider normal. Time is a normal thing. Time is one of those things that we it's a unit of measure, a way we can calculate and experience things. I'm gonna push a movie that I would recommend you watch. It's called Interstellar. It's a fabulous movie. It's an awesome. I think I'm gonna see if I can find it today and watch it tonight, because it takes you on this journey, on this amazing journey of experiencing life in a way that you just never know how it's going to play out. You know, for those of you who've seen the movie, and it's really not a spoiler alert because it's been out for several years, so I'm not giving away anything. So I'm gonna take a little sip of water here. So I'm going to tell you, Interstellar is basically, it's about multiple existences at the same time. It's actually being in different parts of the universe and different parts of reality, and not really necessarily changing in that particular moment. The one main character is Matthew McConaughey. He's traveling into space. He's on this mission, and in the beginning of the movie, his daughter is thinking she's talking to a ghost inside her home. And obviously the Earth has gone through some transformation at this time. There's some things that have happened and some things that have changed the reality of the existence, how it is. And so this whole time, Matthew McConaughey is trying to communicate to his daughter. And he's trying to communicate with his daughter in ways she would understand. And so this is what's really cool about the topic we're going to be talking about today, is that this whole time it took a while for his daughter to actually figure out what was happening. At first, he was in the present moment when that was occurring, so he wasn't necessarily at the actual moment when the things were happening. But you know, as the movie unfolds, you start to understand that, you know, time is really illusionary. It's not real. So they went to this one planet, you know, temporarily to get something off a ship. I believe that something happened, and the way time moved on the planet versus being in space is, if they were there longer than, I believe, 7 minutes or something like that, that was the equivalent to being 25 years in space. And so the one character, I think, Don Cheadle, was up in space, and he waited 25 years, and they showed up. They came back. For them, it was like, you know, it was like 7 minutes. But that's the illusion of time. What I'm talking about. This is scientifically proven. It's when we travel through space, when we travel through the speed of light, our physical body is moving, you know, into this other arena of time, as the others are moving on a slower pace. So I could actually time travel right now to some degree. It's called time traveling, but it's called forward time traveling. So it's really not reverse time traveling, except for the person who's physically in the spaceship or the capsule. So if I was to travel speed of light, everybody's still on Earth, and then come back, the reality is that everybody who I've known will no longer be there. They would be gone. They don't exist anymore. They would not. They would just. I would outlive them, just in that short moment of time that I traveled and came back. That's why they say time's an illusion, because time is, you know, there's linear time and there's non-linear time. You know, we talk about how two objects could be in the same place at the same time. For example, in the movie Interstellar, there was a time where Matthew McConaughey was in the present moment, and then his future version was in the future, trying to communicate to himself, which I found really fascinating. And you know, that movie moved me. And that movie changed the way I think about, you know, things. And yeah, it's science fiction. Yeah, and there's science behind it, which is really cool, because as much as science, and as much as, you know, scientists want to put their thumbprint or their name on things, they can't. They can only theorize, make a theory about what actually happens, because they can't really say that somebody's already done that. So it's all theories. So the best way they can actually define something or discover something is looking through particles and matters, where they send, you know, protons through the proton accelerator and come around, and then two protons appear in the same place, you know, which we know as quantum physics. You know, we talk about that. So what is this thing that we call a parallel universe? What is that? Well, you got to understand, number one, we got to understand the word. Okay, we have to understand the word is parallel. Parallels two things running side by side, right? It parallels each other's. Okay? So imagine two roads, and you're driving on both roads. There's a road, someone is driving on the other road, and you're on the road. And as you're both driving on these roads, you're both going, maybe not the same speed, but you're going the same direction, but you're going to some place in that direction, okay? At any moment that you veer off into that other version, okay, then you're on the other parallel. But here's the thing. When we talk about parallel universes, we talk about how human beings, how we move, okay, how we move into the existences that we are. Now, you have to kind of use your imagination here. You have to kind of go with me on this trip because for a lot of people, it's very difficult to actually picture what a parallel universe looks like. We have this illusion that a parallel universe is like a comic book a scenario, which to some degree it is. Remember, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything that we think about, talk about, has other people have talked about it, have done it. Now, there's some things that you will draw from the universe that haven't been drawn from in a long time. And that's good. That's normal. All right. So in the multiverse, the universe is always expanding and still expanding, and it will expand. It will never stop expanding. Okay. That's what science can't put their finger on. They figure when something explodes, we have the Big Bang. Their theory is, well, it should explode and come back in, right? Implode into itself. But it hasn't. It's still expanding. It's still creating universes. It's still creating things. My theory is that we're creating alongside that creation, that we're actually creating all these things. Now, you have to really, really think about it. I posted something the other day. Well, actually today, the world is as you dream it. Okay? And this is a Colombian tribe, Amazonian tribe that, pretty much it means all our relations. Okay? And it also means as we create, we get. Okay, so as we create our universes, these universes, we have multiple opportunities to walk into different scenarios. Okay, walk into these places where we actually can go into. We can change reality for how we look at it. Now, sometimes it's very subtle and something is very unnoticeable. Sometimes it just happens, but we're constantly merging into different versions of ourselves, different realities and existence of ourselves. And it's something that the mind sometimes can't fathom. The mind can't go, oh yeah, I just saw that. I just know. But there is time where you notice something where you felt like you were in one place and then all of a sudden you're someplace else. Have you ever had that moment where you're just kind of like a deja vu, or maybe like not even a deja vu. It's more like, I can't even use the word. I can't remember the word, but where you're just kind of like, wow, did I just do that? What just happened? You ever have that? I've had those. I've had those moments where you're just like, how did I get here? How did I expand here? Now, in this big universe that we're here, okay, we have this. There is a central. There's speak of how there's a central prime, where there's a prime version of ourselves, where we're actually prime. But the interesting thing about prime, meaning first version of who we are, is who's prime. You have to understand who's prime. Who's that prime? Who's that person where we're prime? It's right now I want to say this is the prime version. This is me because I can see it, and I can feel it, and I can touch it, I can smell it, and I'm in it. But that doesn't mean this is the prime version. This isn't necessarily me. I mean, there are versions of us who are trying to access versions of us and trying to learn from us, and there's versions of us that will never access. There's versions of us who just stay on this line. The Native Americans had a really belief that we have a straight timeline, then we have all these splinters that break off. Boom, 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 as we break off into these worlds, into these different scenarios, okay, we create. Now, when you make a decision into your verses, and you're right, somebody said hiccup, I don't remember who was, but when we move into these little hiccups where we're actually moving into a different version of ourselves, we're constantly creating. So we're constantly creating universe. When we're thinking, when we're creating in our mind, we're thinking these ideas about what we want to create, how we want to navigate and move into this space, into this place. We're constantly making and transitioning into these new existences of ourselves. Sometimes it's very subtle. Sometimes it's very, very boom, like that. So how do you distinguish what is real and what is not real? Because remember, in a couple shows back, I talked about, us being memory sticks, where we're actually carrying the DNA, the remembering, and all the information of our ancestors, and all the remembering of the beginning of time. We carry that. That is written in our DNA. That is written in our code. I don't care what scientist tells you, whatever. There's just things that science will never, ever, 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 ever prove. Okay, and that's why we create science fiction. That's why we create these realities that aren't real. Because in the mind of our human mind, we create these things. Imagination is more powerful, okay, than anything. Our imagination is 10 times stronger than anything that we can imagine. Our human mind is so fast and so quick. It's faster than the speed of light. I can send a thought across the universe faster than light could travel. You can too. And we do that constantly. Why do we look up to the stars? Ask yourself, why do you look up to the stars? Why do you look up to the heavens? Why do you go up there? What's up there? Well, there's a connection there. There's obviously a connection there because there's parts of us everywhere. Remember, you're talking about these fractals and these moments and these places where we're all, pieces and parts, and we haven't even been discovered yet. We haven't even been created, but yet we're still up there. There's a version of us in the time continuum, in this time circle, that we are actually, in reality, haven't met yet. And when we get there, it's pretty exciting. All right? And then our dream time, Rosa, is a whole nother thing, Some people say that our dreams are actually our realities, that it's a mirror, a reflection of who we are. But in the parallel universe, you can actually access information. You can actually access yourself. You can actually access things that can help you, okay? Now, the thing is, sometimes some of us are very good at it, and some of us don't even know we're doing it, and some of us try too hard to do it, to access different points of ourselves. Another good movie that I suggest you watch, okay? The movie is called One, okay? The One, I think it's called The One. I think it's with Jet Li. Jet Li is basically trying to capture all the different versions of himself, okay? And he's trying to eliminate them and take their essence, I guess, and create himself into this super version of himself, this super human maybe. But there comes down to where there's only two left, and I believe if he destroys one and something happens, then he becomes way too powerful for man to even control. But it's funny where our minds go and how our mind creates and how our mind looks at things and makes things work. Because I find it very interesting. We are the biggest person can hold ourselves back. We are. I mean, that's just reality. We are the person who can just say, hey, you know what? I'm not going to do it. Or I'm going to do it. One decision changes our whole existence. Now, in another parallel universes, in different versions of ourselves, there are multiple versions of us working and doing things that are, imagine yourself being the most wealthiest person in the world. And imagine yourself being the poorest person in the world. Imagine yourself going through time, moving through time, accessing those pieces and parts of yourself. Wouldn't that be amazing for you to be able to just go, hey, I want to learn how to play the piano. Well, you can. Hey, I want to learn how to run a multi-million-dollar company. Well, you can. Because you're already doing it. The universe is so amazing that it has already played out every possibility, infinite possibility of what you could become. Every possible infinite existence, every possible adventure you could possibly have. The rub is, in the prime state, who we are, we're the ones that make, that's where the free will comes in, that's where the free choice comes in. We decide if we take that road or that information. But there are versions of us that will take that road. Okay? And when that road's filled, we come in. So when you come into two places at the same time where your version here and this other version comes together, what happens? Is there like a merger? Is there quickening? Is it something where we come together? Of course. There's a collaboration. It's just like when you have spirit guides. Some of you talk about your spirit guides when you talk about higher self. Well, higher self is, connection with higher version of who we are, ascended versions of ourselves, ascended versions of us that are in a different plane, a different parallel, different existence, a different part of the universe. We're actually talking to us, okay? And how do we know this? Because number one, we feel comfortable. Number two, it feels like something that's really, really amazing, okay? All right, so, and the thing is, when we had talked to ascended masters, we, in a different parallel universe, are an ascended master, okay? In this particular version of ourselves, we don't believe we're ascended because we don't believe we're worthy. See, there's a lot of reasons why we feel the way we do and why we do the things we do. It's because we access different points and we have these dreams. And these dreams that we have about being this particular person or that particular way or that particular scenario, we have to believe in that. And so belief plays a lot into how we access parallel universes, how we go into parallel universes. Okay? This has been a theme, a running theme in the DC universe and the Marvel universe and comics. For those of you who read comic books, okay, and those of you who read science fiction, there are multiverses, okay, all right, where we're all moving and we're all doing things. There's versions of us that who are doing some amazing thing. There's versions of us that just not doing anything. But we have access. We have this thinking. We have this knowledge, and we create this knowledge. We can grasp from this knowledge. We can, take from this knowledge that we access in the universe, because we are everything. We are part of everything. We are all my relations. We are every part of the known universe. Okay, the known universe filters through us, works through us. Now, the memories and the ideas and the things that we collect on the way are the things that filter the things out. Okay, for some of us, we're like going, I don't relate to that. I don't understand that, so we don't grab on that. We don't hand on to that. Our mind is the most powerful tool that you will ever have. Our mind is the tool that can create, destroy, incubate, and do all kinds of amazing things. But human beings have to understand that. And sometimes we don't understand that, and we don't create that because we're too busy and too fixated being in the present moment. And there's nothing wrong with being in the present moment. The present moment is important. But we can also step outside. We need to step out from time to time and look at our reality that we're creating. Is it good for us? Is it working for us? Is this reality a real thing? As we're moving through these parallel universes, we're always accessing them, constantly accessing them, every single moment. When you have those daydreams, there's a version of yourself. How many of you talk to yourselves? And some of you will raise your hand. Some of you will probably go, no, I don't talk to myself. Some of you go, yeah, I talk to myself all the time. Who are you talking to? Are you talking to you? Are you talking to inner voice self? Are you talking to the multiple verses of yourself? The multiple versions of how you can create and pull from. We can't think of ourselves as this body anymore, because we're not just body. We're also we're spirit also. We're also very connected to spirit. We're really connected to things seen and unseen. Some of you, I know, because I know some of you who are on here, are able to access some very powerful intuition, some very powerful points in time where you can actually just know things. And how do you just know things? How can you possibly know things? Because that's how we're built. That's how we're made. We're made to understand all these things we don't understand. We're just because the sheer fact that man has created boundaries for our mind, okay, for the mind that we have here, man has created boundaries so we are not able to travel into those spheres. They're fearful for us to travel into those mindsets. They're afraid if we access the knowledge that's in our brain, that's buried deep in our brain, that's been suppressed, that they couldn't control us. It's your mind. Everything begins in your mind, okay? And your mind, we don't even understand how the soul and how your spirit sits inside the body. We have theories, we have ideas, we have this, these things we call whatever we call them. We can use anything, any label, but everything is so intricately connected. Imagine how the universe of your body works alone. Just your body, just your own human body. The blood cells, the T cells, your liver, your heart, your bowels, your digestive system, your sebaceous glands, the saliva that runs, the sweat that runs off your body. How does your body know how to sweat? How does your body know how to do these things? It's because I told you guys, we're all Mother Earth. We're all humans. We're all a version of the planet presenting itself and living through and expressing itself. So in these multiple universes, there's all kinds of crazy stuff going on. I had a friend that were telling me that they did some work, some blood tests on some people. Again, this is documented information. My friend Jonathan, they did some blood work on a gentleman where, they took the blood, and the one lady, they ran some energy on the blood, and the blood, actually stayed, the chi force kept the blood from dying, those cells from dying. Eventually, when the chi was removed from that, okay, it died. Now, I have to bring him on the show because I found that really interesting when they were telling me about that, how things happen. And, I tell you, in this multiple universe, there's multiple things happening. Now, how do we create? How do we all co-create in this universe, in this multiple universe? We do. We all co-create. And I'm not saying anybody's creation is stronger or better than anybody else, but just think about all the things that we've created together just recently. Look at all the things that we've co-created, things that we've worked together. Right now we're co-creating. We're all co-creating on this show. We're all listening. We're all sharing. We're all going to draw from. Some of you are giving your opinions. Some are giving your thoughts. Some are agreeing. Some may disagree. Doesn't matter. But we're still creating. We're still creating. And that creation is important because when we co-create, we get into the space and the place we need to be. Now, in this human existence that we are constantly creating. There's been proven fact, documented fact, that we can actually change the weather just by sheer thought. You don't have to do a ceremony, you don't have to chant, you don't have to, just the sheer thought of what a nice day looks like is created. This has been proven. It's also been proven that we can stop wars by the sheer thought and the belief and prayer. What is that? It's accessing the universe. It's accessing those parallel universes. It's accessing those points in time and those things. We can do it. We do it every day. And there's no reason we should stop doing it. Every day we should be creating. Every day we should be doing that. So there are versions of you who are good, and there is a version of you who are not so good. There are versions of you who are male. There are versions of you who are female. There are versions of you who are just everything. This may sound very sci-fi, but I tell you, you have feelings and you have moments where you feel like a whole different person. Like you feel like, ooh, where did that come from? Where did that inspiration shoot from? It's because there's a version of yourself who's really connected and really doing the work and doing some amazing things. There's other versions of you who don't give a rat's nothing about doing anything. And that's because, and it all compiles into the prime version of who we are, of ourselves. The only reason we feel prime is because we're in this present. I told you in the beginning of the show, we feel prime. We feel like we're one because we're here. There is another version of ourselves actually having a different conversation. There's a different version of us talking about something completely different. You can't see it. You can't access it because, number one, sometimes your mind doesn't want to go there, can't believe that there is anything else, that there's more than what's happening right now. I know that there's something happening out there. I know there's other versions. I know when I have these emotional triggers and charges, I know that there's other parts of me being accessed and other parts of me going, hey, you know what? Let's look at this differently. It's going on because, when I'm in my subconscious mind, when I'm in my subconscious place, I'm sending information out to different versions of myself, different versions of other ancestral lineages to help me and guide me through this moment. We're the sum of everything that's come before us. We're the equal of that. Everything that's come before us, through our lineages, through all the things that we are, had questions like we have questions that never were answered, and then we're going to answer them as we get through time. You know, we're great grandma, we're part of grandma, we're part of this. We're all that. Imagine why you feel the way you do sometimes and why you feel the way you are. Because there's versions of you you're even trying, because you have these other versions trying to communicate to you. And plus, you're trying to communicate to yourself and work through yourself and work through your stuff. Okay? How do you do this? Iggy, how's that possible? Well, some of you buy into preconditions and stuff where if my mom had a heart disease, then I had heart disease. If my family had cancer, then I had cancer. Okay. If you buy into that and you believe that, then that's your reality. That is true. But it's true, Iggy. It's true. It's been proven. Okay. If that's true, then consciousness is also able to be passed along, pieces and parts of it, through your DNA. There's pieces and parts in miasms that run through your body. There's encrypted code. There's encrypted stuff. So how do we access it? By talking about it, 1, being a ceremony, 2, and actually doing the work, and 3. Now, I'm not saying you have to obsess and do it, but you are everything and everyone before you. And everybody who comes after you will be. And if you don't have any kids, then with you pass on the information that is embedded into somebody else. But that true connection is no longer. It's like having a master recording of something, and then you don't make another one. It's gone. It's only in the universe, and it's always recorded and displaced out. So when we talk about the universe, we're talking about different versions and different possibilities. And, the possibility you to be on the show, this is a decision. This is something that you wanted to gain, something you wanted to learn. Now, is it easy to access? No. But time plays a big factor. Time plays a big, big, big factor in how we access information, how we move through this existence that we are today. Time is for a lot of us is just a measurement on the clock. And I'm here to tell you that's limited. That's that linear thinking, and that we're more than that, much more than that. But a lot of our brothers and sisters who walk this earth don't believe that. They don't believe that they're more and worthy to be more than they already are. It's education, it's belief, and it's stepping out of our comfort zones, and it's actually making changes that are uncomfortable and sometimes comfortable. We can stay where we're at, which is fine. You can work through things if you stay where you're at, and you can completely walk off the edge and jump, and you'll have to figure out things pretty quickly. But you have to access yourself. So how do you access points and parts of yourself? How do you learn how to do something and you want to figure something out? Now, accessing versions of yourself in the known universe and the unknown universe, and getting to know other versions of yourself, is knowing where you come from and knowing how you experience the world. First, you have to go back and have to kind of understand what made you who you are today and why you are the way you are. Okay, and I'm talking about you. I'm not talking about everything that came before. I'm talking about the you version of yourself, the you version of who is in front of you, who is the person who's watching this podcast. Who are you? Have you ever asked yourself who you are? As are you who are you? Do you remember when you were 1? Do you remember when you were 2, 3, 4, 15, 16, 18, 20? Do you remember those dates? But yet we can remember something that just happened last week, and yet we can forget something we forgot what we did last week, but yet we can remember about something we did when we were 8. It's clear as day. Why is that? Why is that? Why is that possible? Well, there's a lot of ideas about it. There's a lot of reasons. Because we're constantly merging, we're constantly accelerating, we're constantly moving in and out of different possibilities of who we are. You ever have that thought where you're going, well, I'm glad I didn't do that. Well, I would have been smashed by a truck, or, I would have, man, if I would have been there, it's funny. It's interesting when you start to think about it. Well, first of all, we have to connect with ourselves. And how do you connect with yourself? Remember that tool I told you called the imagination? Okay? And the word I'm going to add with that is called guessing. And I want you to guess. And you really need to write these things down when you start to access different versions of yourself. But we have to relearn who we are, who we believe we are, who we think we are, and how we see ourselves, and how we embrace ourselves, how we talk to ourselves. You literally have to go back to the beginning of conception of yourself and write a story and talk to yourself and say, hey, little Iggy, I know you're not born yet. I know you're in there. But I'm just letting you know I'm here. Boy, what just happened? What was that? Did we just create something? Did something just happen? My sheer thought of just thinking that and presenting that into the universe, into my own known universe, changes the facts. Now, this is kind of trippy stuff, okay? Remember, I was a child who was not supposed to be born, and my fingers are up, okay? Quotation marks, air quotes, okay? I was one of those people who just was fortunate enough that had parents who were just strong enough and willing enough to make things work. When my mom had appendicitis, they had to pull me out of her body inside the what is it? I can't even think of it. But I'm inside her womb, okay, and there's that shell that they have. I can't think. And I can't think because it's because I'm going back there. I'm going back to that time. The sack. That's what the sack. And the chances of me being there, being alive today, well, the placenta is the thing that kills it, but I'm talking about the amniotic fluid that's held inside the mother's sack. I'm inside that sack. Kind of like when they pull babies out of C-section sometimes. Well, they took me out. They pulled me out and they put me in solution, kept me warm, and didn't break. If it breaks, I was done. I was goner. All right. So, in just now, if you watched what I just did, I said, hey, little Iggy, we just need you to hang on. We need you to, stay strong. We're going to go something right now. And I need you to, really be present. I need you to be focused. Did I just send a message to myself from the future to the past? Right now. Was today the day that I sent that message to a version of myself that has already happened? Okay, you gotta think it's already happened, but it's not happened. Okay, because simultaneously everything's happening. All different versions of ourselves is happening simultaneously. And it's interesting because I had a conversation with my sister Rosa several years ago, and we were talking about there was two of us. There was a one baby that wasn't formed properly, and eventually they had to take that out of my mom, and then there was me, and then my sister always jokes around. She calls it huevito. Huevito means little egg. He's kind of like my little partner, and with huevito, I wanted to. Excuse me, let me get some water here before I get in the story. He for years I didn't realize what I was doing. I didn't realize what was happening. I always felt like I was living two lives. I always felt like I was living different version of what I thought I was living. Now I don't know, Rosa, if you want to come on, I can put you through and talk to you. It'd be kind of fun to have Rosa pop on here and share her story of this. But anyhow, I always had this feeling that I was never alone, that I was always not by myself. I always felt like I had this conversation. Well, I'm in the womb of my mother, and then there's also another version of myself, which is actually my twin, who never developed. And Huevito is moving through there, and I just was living their life and kind of carrying on the banner for this person. And then, we're at a Starbucks and I'm having this conversation with my sister, and then we finally have this breakthrough where we actually just let go of him. We actually let him process and go where he needed to go and be where he needed to be. Letting go of that, that information, that feeling, because he never developed like I developed. But I always knew that there was, and I always say this, I always feel like, that I was different. Like I was, I always felt odd. I always felt like the adopted child. I don't know why. I just always I'm the oldest, but I always felt adopted. I always felt like I was a little bit odd, a little bit different than everybody in my family. But that's just me. Period. Just the way I think. But I just always felt like the aliens came in and just replaced me for some reason, or just put someone else in there. But that wasn't true. That's just my imagination, my crazy thoughts rolling through my head. But anyhow, Rosa helped me process and let go, and was able to move into that space that I need to move in. And we let Huevito rest in peace. And I had to thank my sister Rosa for that, because she was a huge and big process of that. And Rosa used to be on the show with me for years until she got super busy with her new job and her new life. But it was always fun to have her on the show. And if you go back, we're going on 10 years, Rosa, can you believe that? And with Insides Radio, wow, it's amazing. We used to do a lot of stuff. So when we access versions of ourselves every single day, every single moment, we're accessing versions of ourselves. So it's not abnormal, and it's not weird to have these deja vu moments where you're feeling like you're different, like something's not right, something is out of character with you. That's just normal. So basically, without giving away too much, that's kind of what parallel universe is, just you accessing versions of yourself through the known and unknown galaxies and unknown versions of the universe. It sounds complicated. It's not complicated. It is complicated. It's not complicated. It's what you make it. So whatever you make it, it will be. So in time is just a relative statement. We've talked about that. We covered that a little bit. Time is that thing that everybody wished they had more of, that we have a lot of, but we don't have enough of, but yet we don't know how to use it, and sometimes we waste it. So when you're accessing versions of yourself, there's ways to do it. So we will do a little trip here in a minute, okay? And I want you to really think about what you would like, okay, to access, what you would like to gain, what you'd like to learn. And I really legitimately want you to think about this, okay? All right, I really, really want you to say, this is, and you have the right to change your mind, but if there's something that you really are working on, something that you really want to work on about yourself, and something that you really want to access for yourself, knowledge, information, make it about you. Don't make it so much about anybody else, because it doesn't usually work that way, because that's cross-paralleling universes, and that's a whole different scenario, and that's, you start to violate, the universe and its codes and its laws and stuff. We don't want to do that. Okay? We really want to work on what's important for you, what you need to gain, what you need to access in order to get you to that place, which you need to learn, okay? Because the universe is your friend. The universe is here to help you. The universe is something that we're all part of. Every single one of us is a part of it, okay? Now, I usually don't do this online. I usually don't do it on the radio. So you get to get a little treat, okay? And you get a little bit insight. I want to give you a little bit, and then you'll understand why I call this show With Insights. Because with inside of us, there's all kinds of insights. There's all kinds of information. There's all kinds of things that we constantly need to access, constantly sharing. Okay? Within us is all the answers that we truly need to know. Because within us, we have the key to unlock the doors that we believe are locked. Okay? So those doors that we believe that are locked and they're not open, okay, we have the ability to unlock those. We have the ability to move through those doors. We're able to lock these doors. We're able to close these doors, open these doors at will, at random, whatever you want to call it. But you gotta give yourself a lot of credit. You have to give yourself more credit than you probably get, and they probably have gotten, right? Because believe it or not, and this is hard for people to digest sometimes and ingest, is life happens not just to you, but to everybody. Okay, it happens to all of us. Every single person is having experiences, memories, and all kinds of things that are happening to them right now. Okay? So when we make decisions where we want to go, that means we take responsibility when we move into that direction. Now, not all things are going to work out the way we want them to work out. So we have to take responsibility even when things fail. Because when we take responsibility when things don't work out, then no one can ever hurt us. No one can ever go, well, as soon as you tell somebody, yeah, I screwed up, what are they going to tell you? Oh, yeah, you screwed up. They're going to be like, oh. But as soon as you tell somebody, it wasn't my fault, I should have. No, that'd be the first part. People get opinion. Well, you should have advertised more and you should have done this a little bit more, you know. You take responsibility. You take responsibility for what's happened and what's going on. And I know that's hard for people to hear sometimes, because when I say take responsibility, that you go, well, what if this happened to me? Well, you know, things happen. It's what we do within that moment, how we move out of that space is what's important. Do we stay in that space? Do we stay in relationships that are not good for us? Do we stay in a job that's not good for us? Do we stay in the traffic and we can take a detour? Do we turn left or do we turn right? Every decision we make is our choice, our decision, our responsibility. So when you're going to access this information here in a little bit, okay, when you're going to access it, ask yourself, you know, truly, what is it for? Why do you want to access this? Why is this so valuable and so important to you? Why is it you want to get into this place or in this frame of mind? Okay? Is it that you don't have enough in this present moment? Is it that you want to become better and do better? You know, because we have to also give back to the universe when the universe gives us something. You know, we have to acknowledge to the universe, you know, all right, that thank you. I've learned a lot. I want to give back. Now, for some of us, giving back can be a lot of different things. It could be money. It could be ideas. It can be, you know, that's up to you how you're going to do that. I can't tell you what that's going to look like. But when you receive something, you have to give back to it. It's just like when you lay on someone's table to get a massage, okay? They give you the massage, you give them $60. Okay, that's an energy exchange. That's within that universe of those two people. That's an exchange of energy. Well, the universe works the same way. When you want to access the universe wants an exchange. It does not like a void. Why do you feel, some of you may feel a little bit funny when you receive energy from somebody and then you weren't able to, you know, give back, or thank you sometimes is not enough. And sometimes thank you is enough. All right. It's because the universe says, okay, I gave you a gift. Someone gave you a gift. Someone accessed a gift for you. Okay. Somebody gave you something to you. Okay. And now you have to come back and you have to say, I'm going to give back to someone else, to a dog, a friend, a charity, whatever. You have to have an energy exchange. It's the law of the universe. Because if you don't, it gnaws on you. Okay, it gnaws on you. And just like we're on the show, and it's almost 9:00. We're cruising right along. So think about what you're going to give back, and how you're going to give back, and why you're going to give back. Because the universe wants that. Right? Very simple. It's a form of tithing, I guess, back to the universe. Tithing in a spiritual way, tithing in a way that's good for everybody. So think about what you wanted to do, what you wanted to accomplish, something that you wanted to move into, a space you want to move to, because we're getting ready to do the meditation now. Okay, the meditation is something that you really need to, you can write it down before you begin. I want to learn how to piano. I want to learn how to dance. I want to learn how to skydive. I want to learn how to make $1 million. I want to learn how to whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, your story is your story. You know, whatever your story is, you have to use it. You have to work it. Okay, so here we go. I just want everybody to relax. Just Sit back. Okay. And remember, this is about you. What you want. What that looks like. I want you to paint that picture. I want you to use your imagination, and I want you to paint that picture. Clear your mind a little bit and open up the possibility. Open up a file in your mind, a space, a folder, a place. I don't know how you work that and what that looks like to you, but you really got to open that up and you really got to present that. And it's got to look like it's something ready to receive. Now, for some of us, it's probably easier to close our eyes, and for some of us, it's not. But anytime that you want to open your eyes, anytime that you want to step outside of this exercise, this meditation, you can. Okay? Anytime that you feel like you need to come back, come back. Okay? So I really am going to stress this. Make it something that you can tangibly access first. Okay? This is how we start. I don't want it to be too hard. I don't want it to be too soft. I want it to be kind of in the middle ground, something that take you a little bit of work, something you really have to look for. Now, I will tell you, when you come back, the messages will be for some of you, be very blunt, very to the point, and for some of you, it's going to come in codes, it's going to come in messages, it's going to come encrypted, it's going to come in things that through other people, through stories, through pictures. I don't know how the universe works with you, but I do know that the universe gives you these messages constantly, and the universe chooses a format because you seem to understand that format, and you have to kind of be open to the idea that the universe will send you these messages, and you have to go, okay, the universe is going to give me something. And sometimes it's not as literal as turning on your computer, and it might be. But I guarantee you this, you will get messages, you will get some pieces and parts, and you'll probably have to go through the process a little bit. You might have to play this message, this portion of the audio again to get you back into that trance state of mind, that thinking, that clearing, that moving. Okay, you guys ready? Everybody give me a little hands up, tell me you're ready, so we can go. So we can begin on the journey. Welcome to the journey. Your personal journey. No, I'm not going to talk like that. But anyhow, okay. Now, I need you guys all. Do you like that, boys? Welcome to the journey of self-discovery. Ha ha ha. I am here. Maybe on another show. But okay. I just need you guys to relax. I really need you guys just to focus, okay? Everybody just find a quiet place. Lock the door so you're not interrupted by your dog or your cat or your significant other. So we can go on this journey. We can go far. And we can travel. Here we go. I need you to take a deep breath through your nose. And then exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale. One more. And exhale. Now I want you to pick a number 1 through 10. Once you have that number in your mind's eye, that's your return number. Okay? So anytime that you want to open up and return back to the space that you're in, just think of that number. Okay? And it'll bring you back immediately. You can open your eyes and stop at any time. This is my invitation. I invite you to this space. Second part is pick a color, any color in the rainbow, any color that has not been seen, any color that you just can fix in your imagination, your eye. Pick that color. Hold that color. Hold it in your palm. Or put it in your heart. Put it wherever you need to put it. Hold that. That color is important because if you want to stay in the journey, you don't want to leave, but you want to feel a little bit more, a place where you feel a little bit of comfort and protection, look for that color. That'll keep you in the journey, and it'll remind you that you're safe. And you should already feel safe. You should already feel comfortable. But for some of us who start going on these journeys for the first time, it's nice to see something familiar, and that's what that color is for. And I want you to just relax. I want you to feel your body. I want you to feel your feet to the ground or your back to the bed, wherever you're at, however you're feeling, whatever frame of mind you're in. Okay? Now, this journey is about finding the piece and the part, okay, of a parallel version of yourself that has the gift and has the information that you want, and the information that you want to access, and the information you want to bring back into this present version of yourself. I just need you to think. I need you to process. And I need you to see and look. And I need you to go into this room, this big white room. I need you to walk. Just need you to clear everything out of this room. And just look and see this huge, beautiful room. Now, in the middle of this room, there's a chair. Now, you can pick what that chair looks like. You can pick that chair, what it feels like, what color it is, how big it is, how small it is. Excuse me. And I want you to walk towards that chair. Now, I want you to go up to that chair. And I want you to move that chair in any direction that you want it to be. Just turn it to the right, turn it to the left. It doesn't matter. If it's right where it needs to be, then leave it alone. Now, I need you to sit on the chair. I invite you to the chair. And just sit there and relax for a moment. Now, as you're picturing yourself on this chair, I need you to close your eyes as you're sitting in the chair. Just relax. Let your ego just sit there for a moment, just in comfort and relaxing. Just feel the chair. Feel the softness. Feel the arms, the rests. Good. Now I want you to picture in front of you this amazing door. Now this door can look however you want it to look. Okay, this door can be any shape, any size, any color, whatever you want it to be. But there is one thing about this door is around the edges of the door, there's light streaming from it. There's color streaming from it. And this white light and these color light intermingle, and they mix, shining, and it gets more brighter and brighter. And you're looking at this door. We call this a transit door because we're about to go on a transit trip. We're going to move into space and time outside of space, outside of time, outside of everything, outside of reality. We're going to access a parallel version of ourselves. Now I want you to stand up from the chair, walk towards the door. And I want you, before you open the door, I want you to think about what you were going to ask yourself. Think about what you had in mind that you wanted to bring back, the information that you want to be shared with you from the version of yourself that's on the other side, that has that information. Now I want you to open the door slowly, and I want you to feel the cool breeze that starts to hit your arm, your chest, your face, your legs, your body. Now push the door wide open. Now I want you to walk through the door, the transit door. And as you walk through the door, keep in mind of your question. I want you to walk in this room. In this room, it's a little bit darker. It's a little bit more gray. It's a little bit more different than the room that you were in before. But as you walk closer and closer, you begin to feel the comfort, the protection. You walk down this corridor. And as you walk down this corridor, I want you to pay attention to the things that are around you and the things behind you, next to you, above you. Now you're going to come up to an opening. And this opening opens up to a beach. And I want you to walk just to the edge of the door where the hallway meets the beach. And I want you to put your toes on the sand. I want you to feel that. And I want you to feel the warmth of the sand and the coarseness of the sand on your toes. as you curl them back into your feet. Now take your first steps. Walk. Now walk towards the beach. You're going to see a fire. Okay, a blue fire. This beautiful blue fire is burning by the beach side. And the waves just miss it. As you're walking towards this blue fire, inside this blue fire is a message that is given to you by another version of yourself. A version of yourself that's waiting for you, that's been waiting for you. Now, I need you to walk up to the fire, this blue flame, and I want you to stand right in front. And this flame is cool. It doesn't burn, but it has warmth, and it has feeling, and it has knowledge, and it has information. Now, I want you to step into the fire, and it's safe. And then when you step into the fire, you will feel that you're inside of a big, beautiful bubble, a big, beautiful space. From the other side, the other version of yourself with the information starts to come towards you. That version walks towards you. And as you look in awe, just because looking at yourself is kind of a strange thing, besides looking in a mirror, the version comes up to you. You, another version, another parallel, another existence of you, another desire, another belief, another incarnation. Now I want you to whisper into the ear of the other version of you what message you have for them. Because they also have traveled from the other side of the universe to receive a message from you. Now they will bend over and they'll give you the message that you wanted. Because you both have come across the universe to receive messages from one another. Now, however you want to say your goodbyes, your embraces, your bows, it's really up to you. And you both step away, step out of the fire. You step back in the blue flame, go shoot straight up into the sky, as to say, it received your message, it received your call, and it had given it to you. You turn around, you walk towards the opening, the hallway. You begin to walk through the hallway, and you see that the hallway is no longer gray. That the hallway is full of multiple colors, multiple possibilities, multiple beliefs, multiple directions. Sky's the limit. You walk towards the transit door. You walk through the transit door. You shut the transit door behind you. The transit door begins to glow again with the bright light around it, with the colors shooting outside of it. You walk towards the chair that's sitting in the middle of the white room. You sit in your chair, and as you sit in your chair, you begin to process the information that you requested. As you request the information, as you sit in the chair, it begins to work itself in your mind's eye, in your mind, in your spirit, in your soul, and it will manifest in the way that you would like it to be, at the speed you want it to be, and how you want it to be. Now slowly you come back to the space where you're sitting, in the place that you are at, and you begin to remember and feel your body. You take some deep breaths and return back to the space where you were at. Return back to your room. Return back to your kitchens, your bedrooms, your car, wherever you're at. Return back. Feel your body to the ground. Feel your feet to the ground. Clap your hands to get yourself back in the frame of mind. Shake your head side to side. Okay? Now you're back. Now you're back where you're, wherever you're at, you're back. You've returned. Now, whatever your message was, it's for you. You know, you can share or you can move on. You can send me a private message, whatever you want. Help you move you through the system. But that message is going to come now. Some of you will get the message immediately tonight. Some of you will process it through dreams. Some of you will process it through artistry. Some of you will process it through just spoken words of other people. The universe has its way it does things. Okay. So I hope you got something out of that. I hope that you felt something and you got into the place you needed to be. That's a very powerful tool, and that's a shorter version of that transit door work where we move you. But I could feel a lot of energy. I could feel a lot of pull, and a lot of, you know, people really, you guys are really working through this process, and that's good. That's important. So what we're going to do now, we're going to move into another space, which we call our intuitive reading session. Okay? We're going to popcorn read, and I'm just going to pretty much read an animal card for you and just kind of feel what the animals are talking to you about. Okay? All right? And I'm glad that you guys don't want to stop and you want to keep hugging. You know what? You don't have to stop. You know, just because I brought you back doesn't mean you have to stop. Okay? You can continue your journeys, and now that you know how to move into that, it's a tool that you've been taught, a tool you've learned now. You can actually move into that space and get back in there and get the information you need. All right? So, awesome. And, you know, be patient. That's one key word that I want to tell you. I want you to be very patient. I want you to be like the bamboo that's growing in the ground. I told this story to the drum circle group that I was with on Saturday. Sometimes we have to fertilize and prepare the soil in front of us, okay? And for bamboo, it takes 5 years for you to create the soil. You have to be creating the soil. You have to be manifesting the soil and working the soil to get what you want, the result you want. Now, once the bamboo grows, it grows rapidly fast. It grows 90 feet into the air. Once it starts to grow, it grows pretty quickly, you know, because it's been nurtured, it's been cared for. Now, the question you have to ask yourself, okay, the story is this: did it grow 90 feet after it grew, or was it growing 90 feet before because it was being nurtured and prepared? Okay, so it's a good question. And remember, the bamboo didn't grow alone. It also had help. It also had other people who were cognitive and understood that sometimes we have to help foster that belief along and work that along. So if you're going to be bamboo, if you're going to be the ground and fertilize it, remember, you might have to ask for help. You may have to ask someone to be there for you, someone to give you the information. It's important. It's important to understand. So when you're ready to bust out of that soil and you're ready to grow 90 feet, you've already grew 90 feet prior to. You're always in preparation to grow 90 feet. That's what it was about. That was the story was about. All right. Got some cards here. Who wants a reading? Let me know. I'll give you an intuitive pop read real quick. And for those of you who want to go deeper in session with me, you can find me at iggygarcia.com. I do readings. My services and stuff are there. For those of you who want to be able to do some work with me one-on-one, do some good stuff and get you into the right frame of mind, get you right back in the places you need to be. So if you want information about me and how to get a hold of me, iggygarcia.com, okay? And Lily, you want a card? Okay, pick a number 1 through 5. Okay, and Tanya, you next, and then Pam. All right. Here we go. Gonna go with Lily since I see if I can see her real quick. Where'd she go? All right. Okay, here we go. Got a card. All right, I picked for you, Lily. Okay. I picked the dove. The dove is serenity, slow down, pause, and breathe. All right, Spirit is telling you to pause and breathe. Spirit is saying, hey, you know what? We need to chill a little bit. We just need to sit back and reflect, look at things a little bit differently, look at the realities that we created. in the places that we want to move into. Things are coming our way, but they may not come at the speed that we want them to come, and that's normal, and that happens to us a lot. So really just be like the dove, be gentle, be soft, be understanding, be clear in your message, be clear how you want to be. Okay, let me scroll back down here real quick and see who's next. Let me see. Okay, Tanya. Me. Card for you, Tanya Cruz. Here we go. And your card is, boom, the buffalo. Okay, the buffalo is about abundance. You are a provider in all ways. You're a provider in all ways. Okay, the buffalo is saying that you need to take concessions and understanding that you are an abundant person, that you are a powerful place. You're in a powerful moment to make some very powerful decisions, life-changing decisions, some decisions that will help you along, okay? And you're going to be provided for. You're going to take for it when you do the work, when you are in the frame of mind to do it, okay? So these are popcorn reads, so these are really quick, okay? So let's see, Pam Johnson. Shuffle these cards a little bit, see what we got. Giraffe. All right, Pam, you got the giraffe. The giraffe says, foresight, you are able to see what is in store for the future. Ooh. So, Pam, basically, you have a plan of where you want to go and the things you want to do. There's a couple things that you need to tweak on your plan. There's a couple of things that you have to change a little bit, but you're in the right direction, okay? You're in the right direction. You're in the right frame of mind. Just have to be able to do the work. I guess that's the theme. Do the work. The giraffe is also reminding you to be patient, to make sure you look ahead a little bit. Don't overplan, don't overcompensate, but have fun in the process. All right, let's see who is next. I think it's Savannah. Hey, Savannah, how you doing? All right, moving along. And the card I have here is the horse. The horse says, freedom, you always have a choice. Okay, Savannah. Spirit is saying to be a little bit more open to the possibilities of freedom, to be open to the possibilities of change. Some of the things that are in your life right now may not serve you. In the past, you have been able to make those decisions to move out of the space and the things that don't help you. The horse doesn't give a rat's butt. It just does its thing. It moves on. It doesn't wait for anybody to give it. It doesn't ask for permission. It just does its thing. You got to be a little bit more freer and make decisions a little more quicker. But it's also a loving animal. And it's also a very loyal creature. And it's also a creature that is very very loyal to the person who takes care of it. So there are people who you take care of that may not be loyal to you, but be loyal to you. And that's the question. Be loyal to yourself, to your heart, to your spirit. Okay. Moving along to Sun. Okay, Ali. All right. And I have a card for you. And that card is the Swan. Grace. Appreciate the beauty inside and all around you. I could say that that's a self-explanatory card. Okay. But this card goes deeper than that. This card is reminding you that you are a beautiful person, that you have a beautiful heart, okay? But some people may not see that heart. Some people may not understand what they're seeing. Some people may feel that there's a little bit of confusion when they look at you. Be clear when you give a message to somebody. Be clear on how you present yourself, because you can be misunderstood. Not that it's a bad thing. It's sometimes we're just misunderstood. But the beauty inside of you, keep pouring it out, keep sharing it with the world, because the world really needs that, and that's what this card's about for you. Okay, let me see, Lori Ann, moving right along. Let's see what we got here for you. Shuffling the deck. All right, you got the antelope. The antelope is decisiveness, make a decision, take appropriate action. Okay, Lori, the antelope says, we don't want to be eaten by the lion, so we want to be moving into spaces and places that are good for us. We are kind of stuck in some energies that aren't helping us and not serving us. In order for us to move in out of that energy, we got to make some serious decisions. We have to have some discernment. We have to move fast. Be in a good group of people who love you and support you. This would be a good card to have around it. And surround yourself with the right frame of mind, the right people that will foster and build the needs inside your heart to move into that space. Okay? All right, Terry, let's see what we got for you. All right, and I got the fox. Terry, I got the fox. It says that adaptability, adapt to the changes that are happening. Okay, this is just a reminder, okay, that sometimes you have your fox medicine on, so you're hiding from people and you're hiding from the world sometimes. Not all the time, just sometimes. But it just reminds you, in order to adapt, but don't give yourself away. Adapt, but don't give yourself away. Because it's easy to adapt and give ourselves away. Find your personality within the adaptability of what you're trying to find. So Fox is saying, have fun, be playful, adapt, create healthy limits and boundaries, and don't give yourself away. All right, let's see who else. I know we got a bunch of people say, and then, okay, now we read your cards there. Sue Corbin, I'll give an overall read here in a second, I believe. That's it. All right, so we're going to give an overall read. Okay, I'm going to pull the card for the whole group. And this will be something that we can all use. Even me, because I need it. Shuffle these cards really good. All right, here we go. We got the links. All right, the link says, discernment, look beyond appearances. Okay. So the links it's saying is, let's use discernment. Let's be a little bit more. Let's use this with our head and our heart. Bring them together. Okay. Being able to share and discern what's good for us and the people around us, and create healthy limits and boundaries. Because remember, the lynx is one of those creatures that it's sometimes you can see them and sometimes you can't, and they're very well hidden. And it doesn't come out when it doesn't need to come out. It comes out when it needs to do something very important, very powerful, very magical. Kind of like you. Do the work, do what you're supposed to do, and don't worry about what other people are thinking or other people are saying. Just keep doing what you need to do. Be like that bamboo, okay? Like the story of the bamboo. Just keep processing, keep working. All right? And let's see if I missed anybody, and I think that's everybody on the reads, if I'm not mistaken. I think so. I got everybody. All right. So those are the reads for tonight. And I want to give you guys a little bit of information what's happening this week. So for those of you who want to hang out and do stuff with all the people who we all hang out with. Let's see. So we got an event coming up this week, and that event is the Gathering of Sounds, and that's going to be at Whetstone Park. And let's see, that will be at 7 p.m. For those of you who like to come at Whetstone, we'll be doing a Gathering of Sounds. Basically, we'll be using singing bowls, crystals, tuning forks, all those cool things in order to harmonize and bring back our energy, let go, release, heal, and bring back all that stuff we need. So for Gathering of Sounds, that will be at Whetstone Park by the casting pond, for those of you who want to be there. And for those of you who want to go a little deeper in learning and going to a little bit more about shamanism, I have an introduction to shamanism. It is this Sunday at 3 p.m., okay, here in Columbus, Ohio. That's 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. That's Introduction to Urban and Peruvian Shamanism. That is going to be at the Innate Massage Therapy location, which is 870 High Street, Suite 19, Worthington, Ohio, 43085. Okay, for those of you who want to learn more about shamanism and get deeper into it, I'm taking students for the first time in a while. So for those of you who want to learn under the teachings that I have been taught, this is a good opportunity. It's not open all the time. I don't just do this all the time. So if this is something you want to do, something that's called to you, something that that resonates with you, and you want to learn a little bit more about your calling into spirituality and your calling into shamanism, get a hold of me. Okay, there is an event page on Facebook for those of you who are friends with me. So with that, that pretty much wraps up the day, wraps up the night. And hope you guys got what you needed and got the messages that you had to carry and move through. Papi Gino, I love you. I miss you. I can see you. I'm glad you're here. I hope you're enjoying Peru. My dad's in Peru. He's hanging out there with family members. He actually listened to my show. he had nothing to do. No, I'm just teasing. That's my good dad. And my sister was on, so I appreciate her being on too, and everybody else was on. All right, guys, that's about it. That's a wrap. So if you like this show, leave me a message here on this chat forum, this podcast, or put something on my wall. Let me know. Send me a message if you got a good message tonight and you need to help process through it through the meditation we did. Okay, you're awesome sauce too. Okay, so I'm only awesome sauce because you're awesome sauce. I love you guys very much. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you. I hope you like what we're doing. Sign up to my newsletter on iggygarcia.com, withinsights.com. They all kind of come together. So you guys be well, take care, be good, and I'll see you guys later. And ho'oponopono, much love, peace and love, raise the vibration, vibrate in that energy that's good for the world. And we'll see you guys next time, which will probably be next week. And for those of you who want to go to Peru with me, let me know, because I'm putting together a tour for the upcoming year. All right, love you guys.